Today we're making part 2 of our series building on what Pinterest says is a pretty typical Indian meal. Last month we made an idli dosa flatbread, and today we're going to be making part of the filling that is traditionally supposed to go inside of it. I have no idea how to pronounce it, but I think it's potato palya. I made this dish last month when I made the dosa bread, and it is amazingly delicious. So let's get started right away with the ingredients that we're gonna need to make this dish. Please don't hesitate to consult Mr. Google Pants if you need to find any substitutions. There are plenty of them available. 1 quart of canned potatoes, 1 teaspoon salt, 1-inch piece of ginger, we're just using minced ginger, 1 medium onion diced, 1 fresh serrano chili or a dried red chili. We're using 4 dried chilies, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, 2 tablespoons of fresh cilantro, which I don't have, so we're using 1 tablespoon of dried cilantro, 2 tablespoons of oil. We're just going to use all ghee. It calls for 1 tablespoon of ghee, half a teaspoon of black mustard seed, a pinch of asafoetida powder, half a teaspoon of chana or dried chickpeas, half a teaspoon of urad dal, 4 to 5 fresh curry leaves, which I don't have, so I'm substituting dried bay leaves, and 1/4 teaspoon of ground turmeric. I'm tweaking this recipe to my own available ingredients, so again, don't hesitate to make substitutions. They can be easily found by consulting the people of the internet. And this video is also part of 2 separate collaborations. The first one is a monthly collaboration we take part in called the Shelf Stable Pantry Collaboration, where we all get together and make a video about a meal or a dish that is completely made up of shelf-stable ingredients or ingredients that can be easily substituted for shelf-stable ingredients. The only thing that I'm using that's not technically shelf-stable is raw onions, but you can totally substitute dehydrated, canned, or freeze-dried onions. The second one is the Make It March collaboration. Between the 8 of us, we're putting out 1 video every day to show you a ton of ideas of things that you can use your canned ingredients to make amazing dishes that your family is gonna love. Lisa over at SuttonsDaze is hosting this collaboration. I'm gonna link the whole playlist down below, along with a link to her channel and all the other collaborators taking part in this collaboration. Lisa over at SuttonsDaze and 4 Jars are sponsoring the giveaways for this event. And those are going to include gift baskets from 4 Jars along with gift cards, and Lisa's giving away a 23-quart PRESTO pressure canner. So if you want to be entered to win all of these amazing prizes, all you have to do is watch and comment on all of the videos in the collaboration, and every single time you comment, that's going to enter you to win one of these prizes. And today we're going to be tackling one of the most difficult canned ingredients to use in your kitchen: potatoes. If you've ever canned these things, you definitely know the texture and the taste can definitely be a little bit off when they're canned. My hubby Robert could not stand the canned potatoes. I don't eat them, so we just ended up feeding them to the chickens. But I absolutely had to try this because it is such a convenient thing to have on your shelf, and I was on a mission to find ingredients that he would enjoy. And this one is definitely the top of his list. Just for reference, the other 2 are fried potatoes and shepherd pie. If you didn't know, my channel is super focused on gut health. And I want to make sure that you know you don't have to sacrifice health in order to eat out of your pantry. So throughout this video, I'm going to point out a lot of the health benefits behind some of the ingredients that we're using so that you can apply them to all the other things that you enjoy cooking in your kitchen. Remember, I am not a health professional. I'm not a doctor, nor do I play one on YouTube. I just spent some time looking up what the people of the internet have to say about all these ingredients that I'm using. And you can do the same by looking up the ingredients that you're using to find out what the benefits and the downsides are. In other words, use your own research and discretion, and make sure that you're looking at all the downsides of any ingredients that you might be using, any counteractions they might have with anything that you are taking. This recipe calls for 1.5 pounds of potatoes that you're supposed to boil. We're using these, so we can skip that step entirely. And this recipe goes super quick, so make sure that you prep all of your ingredients ahead of time so you don't burn anything. We're gonna start by heating up the ghee in our pan until it's nice and shimmering. The recipe calls for canola oil, but I always substitute ghee or any kind of animal fat instead. It just has a much higher smoke point. Pretty much any vegetable or seed oil has a very low smoke point and usually comes to you already rancid. So it's really a good idea to not cook with it. As far as I'm aware, avocado oil is the only exception. While we're waiting for that oil to heat up, if we haven't met before, hey, my name is Anna and welcome to the Fermented Homestead. I bring you along for all my gut healing shenanigans as we fill our pantry and learn the skills we weren't lucky enough to have passed down to us. If you're having a good time, maybe consider hitting that thumbs up button. But the best way way that you can help us out here is by sharing this video on all of your social media platforms. This way you can let others know that there's a better way to find health and healing through gut health. And we're going to start with the mustard seed and the asafoetida powder, which I really clearly have no idea how to pronounce. I'm sorry. We're going to add 1 single mustard seed to the pan. Once it pops, we're going to know the oil is hot enough. The mustard seed is rich in minerals like copper, calcium, iron, magnesium, phosphorus, potassium, sodium, zinc, manganese, and selenium. It also has many vitamins like C, K, thiamine, riboflavin, B6, and folic acid. Then we're going to add a pinch of the asafoetida powder and the rest of the mustard seeds. Then we'll cover it because it's going to pop. It's really important, there it goes. It's really important to make sure that the oil is hot enough, otherwise the ingredients will just absorb the oil instead of properly cooking. This goes quick, so don't walk away. Asafoetida powder is the dried form of the root of the ferilla plant. It's what gives a lot of Indian cuisine its flavor. Don't get nervous when you smell it. This is often referred to as the stink gum. Once it's cooked, the smell subsides and is compared to onions or leek. Asafoetida powder is often used to aid digestion and gas, along with treating bronchitis and kidney stones. Once the popping subsides, we're gonna add in our dals. And we're just going to stir them until they coat and let them evenly toast. Oh, forgot to lower the heat. You're going to lower the heat to medium-low. Based on the compounds in these dal, they can be beneficial for skin, hair, reduce pain and inflammation, help manage diabetes, strengthen the nervous system, improve bone health, boost energy, protect the heart, and help with digestion. And we're going to add our bay leaves, ginger. Wasn't expecting that. I'm sure that we've all heard about the health benefits of ginger. It usually involves the stomach and helping to alleviate nausea. But that's just the beginning. Ginger contains something called gingerol, which is responsible for most of the positive health benefits. It's a powerful anti-inflammatory, loaded with antioxidants to fight free radicals. It comes up a lot today, so I want to briefly explain what free radicals actually are. They're damaged molecules or atoms within your body that wreak havoc inside of you. Molecules inside of your body are supposed to have a positive and a negatively charged electron. Free radicals are unpaired, which means they only have one of them. These can be created within the body, but usually they're caused by exposure to toxic, cancerous substances. These include, but definitely are not limited to, tobacco smoke, UV radiation, radon, toxic chemicals, medical radiation, and air pollution. These molecules become unstable and they just bounce around inside of your body, and they will collide with your cells in an attempt to steal their charge. And this causes the cell to malfunction. Ginger has been shown in many studies to aid weight loss, helps with osteoarthritis, helps drastically lower blood sugars, improves heart disease risk, helps with chronic indigestion, helps with menstrual pain, lowers cholesterol levels, helps colon cancer risk, improves brain function, and protects against Alzheimer's disease and helps fight infection. And the chilies improve digestive health and metabolism, alleviates migraines, helps with treat leukemia and prostate cancer, fights fungal infections, cold, flu, provides joint pain relief, fights inflammation, supports cardiovascular health, decreases risk of type 2 diabetes, improves cognitive function, and promotes red blood cell growth. And we're going to get everything coated in oil and let it cook for about 10 to 15 seconds. It's very quick. Then we're going to add the onion, turmeric, and pepper. And increase the heat back to medium. And we're going to, that's strong. And we're going to add a little bit more ghee if we need it, and it definitely looks like we do. If you want to lower the calories to this, you can easily substitute some kind of stock instead of some of the oil. We're going to cook this, stirring occasionally until the onions are softened and a little bit translucent. Onions are a super powerful food you should be including in your diet, and benefits include heart health, contains quercetin, which prevents cancer cells from growing, improves digestive health, fights free radicals, bone density, regulates blood sugar, immune system function, and so much more. We've all heard about the benefits of turmeric, but it all focuses on one compound: curcumin. Healthline says turmeric may be the most effective nutritional supplement in existence. Curcumin in turmeric is poorly absorbed on its own by the body, so pairing turmeric with pepper drastically increases its absorbability and nutritional benefits by 2 1,000%. This is true for many spices out there. Turmeric is a powerful anti-inflammatory, increases antioxidant capacity of the body fighting free radicals, boosts brain-derived neurotropic factor or BDNF, improving brain function and memory, lowers risk of heart disease, can prevent cancer, useful in treating Alzheimer's disease, aids in arthritis, helps depression, and may delay aging and chronic disease. And I think now is probably a good time to get those bay leaves out. And we're going to add in our jar of potatoes. Drained, of course. Drained and rinsed. I canned mine a little bit larger so they wouldn't break down as much in the canning process. So I'm just going to kind of cut down some of the bigger pieces. And we're just going to cook this until we get to our desired texture. It doesn't really matter how long. I'm just going to get them all nice and coated so they can all get flavored by the mixture that we made before it. And then I'm just going to add in a little bit of chicken broth to give it a little bit of sauciness. It doesn't call for it in the recipe, but last time I made it, we really enjoyed that. The recipe calls for fresh cilantro and to add it after you turn the heat off. But since we're using dried cilantro, I'm going to add it now just so it has a chance to rehydrate a little bit. Just right at the end. We're almost done. I think that should do it. So now we're going to remove it from the heat and add in the lemon juice. Make sure you don't forget about this part because it's really easy to forget to add at the end, but it really helps make the flavor. Let's go give this a taste. The recipe says to add salt and pepper to taste. We already added the pepper in the beginning, so I just need to add a little bit of salt to this. We should be good to go. It's probably better to salt in the pan, but I totally forgot. Typically, this delicious dish is served as a filling for the idli dosa that we made last month, but I'm not gonna make a whole batch just for this, so we're just gonna try it as it is. As I explained to you guys earlier, the ingredients in this dish are incredibly powerful. You have to remember, spices and whole foods are not just for flavor. They have medicinal properties to them as well. But I want to make sure to mention that one meal is not going to fix your whole health. The idea behind it is that you include these foods in your everyday cooking and they work with one another to offer your body the things that it can use to heal itself. So I really hope that you'll choose to include a lot of these ingredients in your everyday cooking. It's going to help to bring health to your body and your family. I almost never eat potatoes, but hubby's not home to do a taste test, so I'm going to go ahead and do one for you. So, cheers. The flavor of this is unbearably insane. Oh my gosh. I didn't try the first round. I was fasting, I think, when I made the first one. This is insane. Oh my gosh. And I bet you could totally keto-fy this by, instead of adding the potatoes, you could just add chicken or some other type of meat, but I think it would probably go, the spices would go very well with chicken. I can't even get over how delicious this is. Oh my gosh. One thing I do want to note here, the leftovers are just as good, if not better, than the regular because it has time to kind of marinate in the fridge and the spices are going to seep further into the potatoes. So the flavor is just going to be even more amplified. Remember, this video is part 2 of a 5-part series that I'm doing the first Tuesday of every month. And this meal is just as good for your taste buds as it is for your body. And if you want to see part 1 of this video, click here and you can find out how to make an amazingly delicious gluten-free flatbread that is fermented for your better gut health. Peace out, sauerkraut.